Alright, what is up guys? JaretCampisi with my father, Mark Campisi. Welcome back to the channel. We're actually heading to an event in Philadelphia. It's called Ready for Red. Ducati is gonna have all of their 2022 motorcycles here for us to check out. It's not like a VIP only, but they said we were on the VIP list. I don't know what that means. But the bottom line is we're gonna be able to check out all the 2020 Ducati motorcycles in flesh, in person, share our thoughts and feelings with you guys, and I'm really excited. Yes. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video. All right folks, so this right here is the 2022 Ducati Panigale V4S. Now, to the untrained eye, it might look very similar to the 2021 V4, but there are quite a bit of changes. So this is more of an iteration. It's not a complete overhaul of the platform, but right off the bat you can see redesigned fairings. One of the things they were trying to do is get more heat extraction away from the rider and the motorcycle itself. So that's why the gills are down here. In photos, I didn't really like how they look. I'm still not crazy about it, but if it helps keep the bike cooler, then I'm all for it. Redesigned winglets, they tried to make them smaller but still have the same amount of downforce. I think they look great. I wasn't a huge fan of winglets to begin with on motorcycles, but I think that these do look really good. You know, they look aggressive like a shark. One of the things I can't show you today is the all-new dashboard. So it looks the same, it's the same size, but it has some updated rider modes, it has some updated dash layouts that look really cool. Were actually designed from a MotoGP rider that helped give feedback on those. I believe it was Davizioso, if I'm not mistaken. It does have a redesigned tank, so it's a little bit fatter, I think, back here. You can see some different lines in it. It's to help the rider grip the tank better. It has a new seat, it's different colors. I believe that's mainly for grip back here. Even this is red. That's mainly just aesthetics. It does have a World Superbike clutch box, so I believe it has a lengthened first and maybe even second gear. But supposedly these are mainly changes for the track to make the bike faster and easier to ride on the track. And I believe it might have some upgraded electronics, and that's pretty much it. I think they squeaked out another 1.5 horsepower out of it, so it should be around 215. For some reason on the display it said 210. I'm not sure why it said 210, but I mean it really looks like a Panigale V4. Basically, there's just more gills in it, which again should be to help with heat extraction. I think it's a beautiful bike. Supposedly 44 Teeth said it was the best Panigale on track they've ever ridden, period. And again, that's what these changes are for. They're for track riding. They said the same thing. You probably wouldn't really notice a difference for normal street riding. So at this point, it's just an updated model. This is kind of cool, little sticker of the Italian flag on it. It's a nice bike. It looks better in person, I think, than it did in photos. But it's really, like I said, it's just an iteration. Normally after they do a Superleggera, that signifies the end of that model. So the fact that they brought back a Panigale and it looks so similar to the old one really means that I think it's a sign of the times, to be honest. This is mainly just a little update, facelift of the model. I think soon, maybe next year, we're gonna get a complete overhaul, or maybe the following year after that. But if you're in the market for a Panigale and you don't have a current one, this is gonna be a great bike, for sure. So this right here is the new Ducati V2 Street Fighter. Basically, it's a naked Panigale V2. That's basically what it is. The V4 Street Fighter was such a success, I figured that they figured why not try it with the V2. Basically, the reason why you would buy this over a V4 is if you wanted a lot less horsepower. This is probably in the 150 range-ish. A lot easier to handle on the streets if you're in a city, or if you're a newer rider and you don't need, you know, 200 and some horsepower like the V4 Street Fighter has. I think it looks okay. I don't think it translated, the Street Fighter model translated as well to the V2 as it did from the V4. But I mean, it looks very similar. The headlight's pretty much the same. It's got the same type of handlebar layout. It does have the smaller dash, like from the 959. I think this is very similar tank from the 959. It's been slightly adjusted to fit with the naked fairings. Doesn't have any wings, which is crazy to say, but now it's starting to look weird when bikes don't have wings, when I used to not like them. But yeah, it's okay. I personally wouldn't buy one, but again, I think this is for your beginner, intermediate type of rider that wants something a little more comfortable than a Panigale. But the problem, I think, with this one would be you're still going to get super hot on this. Maybe it would help a little bit more because it's naked, but it's an okay looking bike. It's not my favorite. but it is nice for sure. So this right here is probably my favorite bike in here. This is a Ducati Street Fighter V4 SP. So they basically, you know how they have the Panigale SP? This is basically a blacked out livery with the red accents. And then you get a bunch of carbon accessories, which is actually lifted off the Superleggera. So you get carbon fiber wheels, BST carbon wheels. You get the dry clutch from the Panigale V4R, and the Superleggera also has a dry clutch. You get the R brushed aluminum tank, which is gorgeous. You get some billet aluminum pieces, and then they're numbered. This is number 38. They don't tell you how many there are, they just tell you what number yours is. This has some extra accessories like the Rizoma reservoirs. You get the SP seat, and I think that's about it. So this was one I was actually considering as a personal bike. I think it's absolutely stunning. Oh, you also get the carbon wings, if I didn't mention that. This, again, it has some accessories. This doesn't come with it, I don't believe. I think that this is also an accessory, and so is this. But yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the best road bikes you can buy from Ducati, in my opinion. It's super easy to ride. It's a lot more comfortable than its bigger brother, the Panigale. And for some reason, I got little to no heat on the Street Fighter that we did a build on. So as a daily rider, I should say, if you're not doing track days, and you're not just in love with the looks of the Panigale, then this would be a much better bike for you. And this is something I would buy for my own personal collection because it's just so much fun to ride. And it pretty much has all the performance of the Panigale, but in a much more comfortable and easy to ride package. About the only thing you wouldn't want to do on this bike is touring at high speeds on the highway because there's no fairings, so you do feel the wind a lot more. It does beat you up a little bit for long rides, but I think that is a gorgeous, gorgeous bike. Look at that. The SP translated very well to the Street Fighter, and that's one of my favorite bikes in here, for sure. And then another bike I wanted to show you guys, I'm running out of time here, is the Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. This always has a place in my heart for my buddy Carlin. He used to race the previous twin version of the Multistrada. It kind of confuses me why they would put Multistrada on this, or sorry, Pikes Peak on this one, because this one, as far as I know, was never raced on Pikes Peak. The Street Fighter was the last bike I believe Ducati raced at Pikes Peak, so it would make more sense to me to do a Street Fighter Pikes Peak edition. But I guess just because they had so many years with the Multistrada platform on Pikes Peak, and Carlin set numerous world records with a Multistrada, maybe that's why they wanted to carry it forward with the Multistrada brand. But I think that this is a really beautiful bike. Tons of carbon fiber. I'm not sure which ones are aftermarket. That probably is because it's a performance mod. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful bike. You can get an Acura exhaust for this thing that looks incredible. It has a single-sided swing arm, which was one of my issues with the Multistrada V4 that I rode. But I'll tell you guys right now, one of the easiest bikes I've ever ridden, the base Multistrada. I haven't ridden Pikes Peak, but so easy to ride and stupid fast with that V4 motor, 200 horsepower or something like that. It's got, you know, radar, cruise control. It has every bell and whistle in the world, and it's a crazy, crazy bike. I know my buddy 5 Up, I believe, is trying to get one of these, and if anybody is lucky enough to get one of these, you'll love it. Look at the size of the freaking dash, the biggest dash for any of the models, and this thing is absolutely stunning and somewhat affordable. I think it's $28-ish thousand, so it's really not horrible, but that's a beautiful, beautiful bike right there. And then the final bike I'll show you guys today is the new Desert X, which I believe is still in prototype form, but it looks pretty done to me. This is probably pretty close to what it's going to look like. So some really cool headlights that's unlike any Ducati I've ever seen. It looks really, really cool. It has almost like the Panigale white on it, that satin white, which looks really, really nice. This isn't a bike that I would need anything for. It's supposed to be for like desert off-road type of riding. It kind of reminds me of something you would see in like Star Wars. But it's super cool, and like even just little touches, like look at how the what is that called? The dash is. It goes up and down instead of side to side, which just makes it easier to look at and keep it higher in your viewing angle as a rider. Little touches like the gas tank cap being off to the right. Very similar controls as the other models. It does have some interesting mirrors that Jaret would get rid of immediately. You've got some lever guard protection there. The seat looks super comfortable. And then it's got the off-road knobby tires. I guarantee you threw an exhaust on this thing, it would sound incredible. I think it has a Testastrada motor. I believe it's like around 110-ish horsepower, but I'm sure it sounds freaking awesome. You put a full system on this thing. Yeah, super nice. Like I said, I don't really have a use for something like this, but I think they did a really good job. And this is kind of I would think of this as like somewhere in between a multi-strada and a hyper motard. So you can go off-roading, on-roading, do a little bit of everything, but it's mainly, it's almost like an off-road bike is what I would say. So it's a very niche audience, but people have been going crazy over it, and for good reason. It's a really cool bike, and there's not really a lot of competition with it. But yeah, pretty freaking badass. So there you go. I didn't have a lot of time. Unfortunately, during the event, they had music and it was super loud and a ton of people. It was a great turnout. And I was talking to everyone. I couldn't step 2 feet without people saying hi, which is awesome. I'm so glad I met a lot of you people. But I had to kind of squeeze this video in at the end as they're cleaning up. So yeah, there's kind of an overview of the 2022 models that they brought out. There are a couple other ones like the Diablo that I want him to see. That might be a possible replacement for his Diablo in the future. But yeah, there's kind of an overview. What was your favorite bike in here, Dad?
That red one.
The Panigale?
Yeah, and then that one.
The Desert X?
No.
Oh, the Street Fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, those are my 2 favorite as well. So I would say my favorite bike in here, if I was gonna buy one, would be the Street Fighter, the SP. And then based on looks alone, I would say definitely the new Panigale. It looks really good in person. But yeah, in the multi-strada, Pikes Peak is super cool.
The Pikes Peak one is pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really cool to see all the models, and I'm glad that we were able to get out here to Philly. If you guys have an opportunity to check out the Ready for Red tour, go on Ducati's website and check and see if they're coming to your town. They're not really doing big motorcycle events anymore because of the current situation, so this is the best way to get out and see the newest models if they aren't at your dealership. So I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We have a ton of cool stuff in the works, and we'll be riding a lot more once the weather starts to warm up, which it seems like it is. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.